Hey guys, welcome to my channel. So this is my first video ever. I'm a little nervous but mostly excited. Today's reading is, what is your goal here on planet Earth? Why did you come here and what is your mission? So yeah, let's get right into it. Hey guys, so for those of you who chose pile number 1, this is your reading. If you chose this beautiful blue crystal, which has a very calming energy to it, and well, since it's blue, and well, your whole reading is filled with the color of blue, it has a lot to do with calm. And it has a lot to do with emotion. It's a very watery reading, so to speak. So the name of your reading is Whimsical Visionary, Truth Seeker and Truth Finder, and Activator, and also Activator through Truth. Yeah, so I feel like you are a very, as I said, emotional person. Your life is very based on emotions, and that means that when you are in a calm state and your emotions are calmly flowing, you are able to manifest anything you desire. You are able to pick up on really strong intuitive messages from spirit and from your soul and from your spiritual guidance system. But on the other hand, when there is emotional turmoil, you really drop low into this state of despair and hopelessness, and nothing makes sense. And no matter how much maybe others try to lift you up, it doesn't matter, because you are in this cocoon of negative energies, so to speak. And your mood varies on your emotions. So when you are, let's say for example, feeling some emotions on one side, you decide some things in your life. But then on the other side, when you are feeling different emotionally, you decide completely different things. So that there's like a this balance between those two, because you are easily swayed with the emotional currents of your life. I feel like your life isn't based on the material realm, so to speak. It isn't important for you that you have a lot of money, that you have material stability, because what is important to you is that you are free, that you are flowing, that you're happy, and that those things that you do come from that emotional space, and that is something that fulfills you emotionally. And I feel like you are a very clairvoyant person, very spiritually gifted. But in a way, as your emotions can be the most beautiful gift, like moving you through life in the right directions, on the other side it can be like literally your downfall. So I'm gonna read these channeled messages to see what came through. Sheer bliss comes to those who realize that they were already given all. I feel like in this lifetime, it's not gonna be easy for you. Because, I don't want to sound negative and be like, oh, your life is gonna be so scary, because I don't think so, but it all depends on you, and your perspective and the circumstances of your life. But because you are so sensitive, and I don't mean that in a bad way, it's just the way you are, because you pick up on a lot of things from other people and just take it in as your own, it isn't going to be easy if you don't know how to balance your emotions and how to work with your emotions. And I feel like that is the most important message here, for you to learn how to flow with them. And if something negative comes up and something tumultuous, so to speak, you need to learn how to deal with it and not let it drown you. And why I'm saying this after reading this message is that I feel like there will be a lot of influence from society and from people around you in your life that will be completely different from you, because there aren't a lot of people that are like this. Well, in my experience, at least. But people will try to instill their normal beliefs, so to speak, and you will probably try to make it in the outside world in that normal way, and that normal way of the society is become successful, have money, have a family, whatever. And those are not your inherent values. They are completely opposite. And I'm not saying that you will not have money, that you will not have material stability or a family. I'm just saying that those things will come to you only as a result of your emotions flowing freely, and only as a result from you being joyful and fulfilled and your desires being fulfilled. It will never come to you as something earthy and normal, so to speak. And that is why I read this note and said all of that, because it says, sheer bliss comes to those who realize that they were already given all. You were given this emotional intelligence, this emotional depth to pick up on such subtle levels of existence, and you are able to accomplish so many things with those gifts and help so many people. But if you try at it the other way, the normal way of today's society, you will feel like you are lacking, that your inherent values and what you bring to the table is not good enough, because it is not valued in today's society and time and place and space, So it's very important for you to not drop into that space and to not believe other people's truths, but only your own. Because I feel like your emotions are such powerful truth detectors. Not only like are people telling a lie or truth, but what is true for you and what is a lie for you. And every time you follow someone else's truth and something that is obviously a lie to you and that is not aligned with your value system, you will feel awful. You will feel drained. You will lose your your willpower and your confidence, because your confidence and your willpower come from your emotions and come from you honoring those emotions and honoring yourself and your truth. That is why it's extremely important for you to nourish yourself and take care of yourself and to speak your truth, not only to others, but to yourself, and to do it freely. Because in that lies the answers to which path you should take. And I can't tell you, like, I don't know, do this or in life or do that in life, but these are in a way tips for you to overcome these challenges, because you are meant to rise above them. It says, we have a card from the Rumi Oracle that says arise. So I don't know if I'm showing this right, but you see this woman, she's all in dark blue, and I feel like you can easily drop into this space if you don't take care of yourself and if you don't fulfill your own needs. And you have to quit trying to play by other people's rules, because they will only drain you. And every time you feel drained, it is your emotions telling you that you are draining yourself by believing other people and their own truths. So we have a list of traits for this group. Okay, so it says activating through voice and touch and hands. So yeah, I feel like you are a powerful activator of other people, that you help so many people just by being yourself and just by being honest, and that your mission is based around that. And it doesn't matter how it manifests in your life, but like the foundation of you is that you are such a powerful spiritual being. I mean, all of us are, but this is really your destiny to follow those spiritual gifts and to help others with them. And I feel like your emotions can very easily influence your mental state to go in loops and to become a little bit chaotic, or vice versa. So I feel like some spiritual practices will be extremely important in your life. And yeah, it says following emotions wherever they may lead. Okay, so when it comes to positive emotions, I feel like yes, follow them. They are telling you the truth, and this is your very strong guidance system. But on the other hand, if there is a negative energy, don't follow it in a way of like think that that is the truth and that is something that you should do, what those negative emotions are in a way making you do. But look at them as a part of you that is coming up to be seen, that is coming up to be loved once more. Okay, so believe in the power of your intuition. It will not lead you astray. Again, what I said, you're an extremely deep person and with a really powerful intuition, and it's really important for you to follow it. And as I said before, that you probably had a life where others made you doubt your emotions, made you doubt your intuition, and that now it's really important to hear that voice and to follow it. Yeah. Okay, it says sensitive soul. Yeah, as I said. And yeah, it says power of balanced emotions. Yeah, that's what I just said. Yeah, but it says power of balanced emotions and imagination to manifest. So I feel like you are a very creative person, and I feel like you have this childlike nature, and it's like your willpower and confidence comes from that childlike, playful, free nature. And if it's hard for you to manifest things, and if it's hard for you to do things the normal way that is accepted in the society, it's always because you didn't give yourself that freedom. That childlike joy is just not shining through. And yeah, well, I'm just going to take like a little side note, but what some of the things that you could be doing in your life as like a job or something could be something to do with media, something to do with talking, helping people, something to do with writing, maybe technologies, maybe even photography, because it's kind of like media things. Anything that makes you feel joyful in the end, and that makes you feel fulfilled, and that makes your emotional space really happy and balanced, you know? And on the other hand, I feel like spirituality will be a very big part of your life, not just in a way like you are the one who's meditating, you are the one who's going through to all of these energetic healings and stuff, but I feel like you will be the one who will be doing that. You will be the one activating through voice and touch, as I said already. Yeah, so your imagination is extremely powerful. Your emotions are extremely powerful, and for you to manifest a happy life, it's important that you get those two in check. And yeah, it says people-oriented service to others and freedom. And that's why it's really important for you to be grounded and to have that strong base connected to Mother Earth and connected to your lower chakras. Because this reading is very blue, and I feel like the important chakras for you to work on are the throat chakra, because I feel like it can be overly open for you, if you get what I'm saying. Not in a way like that's a bad thing, but I feel like it will be very stronger than your other lower chakras, and it will always in a way drain your energy from those lower chakras into that space, because it's just like a really strong vortex of energy, you know. And also your heart chakra, you know. I feel like fear is a really big thing here. Fear is a really big thing in your life, you know. And that it's really easy for you to give up on things, because you know, one day your emotions say this, the other day your emotions say that, and it's really hard for you to stay grounded, as I said. And especially when fear comes in, you know, and other people's expectations and all of that baggage, you know. That is why it's really important for you to stay grounded and for your lower chakras to be working properly, as well as spiritual practices, as I already said. I'm just recapping, you know, on things. Gratitude is a really big thing here. Gratitude of the way that you are, not going against your own nature, not going against the flow. And that's why I think it's really important that I read this message now. On the quest to reach the deepest inner realms, lead turns to gold. Yet when you touch the solid ground, it's hard for you to flow. Don't let others turn water into ice. obstructing the flow, making it hard. The master of his own sail knows the deep sea holds the mysteries by which he turns his sail, not to get washed away. Work with your own power, not others. Each has its own way. His own way, I'm sorry. If you step on the path of another, you will get lost at sea of your own misery. So yeah, that just really rounds up what I've been seeing on all of this reading, The negative emotions are there as reminders that something is off, that you are not following your truth in any way possible. And don't use your logical mind to find the way, like what isn't working. But follow those emotions wherever they may lead, And there is this quote from Lao Tzu, I think his name is pronounced. I don't know really how it goes, I'm paraphrasing, but you have to wait. Do you have the patience to wait until the mud settles and the water becomes still and clear? So patience is a really big deal here, and patience and gratitude. Yeah. So this is a message when it comes to romantic love. I feel like you are in a way destined to have this beautiful romance, this beautiful equal give and take, and like a person who is your equal and who is in a way reflecting you and helping you on your journey, and who is also the same as you, as like a sensitive soul, as someone who understands the depth of your emotions. You don't need someone who is the opposite of you. You need someone who is exactly like you, so that you can understand that person and that they can understand you. Because I feel like not a lot of people do understand you. It's like when you're happy, everyone's happy to be around you, but when you're sad and when you fall into that distress mode, like people either just leave or blame you or don't understand, and they just don't have that emotional depth to like snatch you out of it, even though that's no one's mission in life to like come and pull you out of it, but if they want to, And yeah, like if you meet a person like you, you will be able to help them as well. But that's why I will come back again to you being stable and you being balanced emotionally. So, what is human love but a need to be seen? What is it but a need to be understood, but a need to merge once more with the divine and be whole? See yourself, understand and listen to yourself. Become whole as you are already, truly, and love shall find its way to you. In desperation, only the same follows. Only the light can lead and know the way. You will find that person who is the one, and you will feel them on an extremely deep level, and they will feel you on that same level, like deep emotion, deep intuition, and like a spiritual heart connection. But because you are probably very unbalanced in your lower chakras, it will be difficult for you to like get a hold of that relationship in the 3D realm, because those chakras really need work. And I feel like you really want to be seen, to be understood. And I feel like you probably in your childhood had a mother who really didn't understand that emotional depth of you and that sensitivity. And I feel like you were in a way forced to toughen up, you know, and become stiff and close your heart and stop expressing yourself fully and not be that free and not be that childlike, because you were seen as childish and inappropriate. And I feel like those are those heavy themes of this reading and of your life, you know, because a really big theme is healing those family issues. Your mission also to just work on that divine feminine energy. Okay, so this message says, what is lost finds itself in the right time and place. Don't lose heart, don't lose hope. The emanations of the mind can turn into monsters if we let it consume us. In the lost phase, believe yourself to be found, and all will show itself. It says, in the lost phase, believe yourself to be found, and all will show itself, you know. I feel like that lost phase is when the negative emotions come up, is when your mind is just out of control, when you are worrying, when you are in fear. And this part that says, believe yourself to be found, I feel like it comes back to that message of you already being whole, you know. It says like, see yourself, understand and listen to yourself, become whole as you are, and love shall find its way. All will show itself, and all shall find its way to you, you know, not love, not only love, light, your path. So I'm just gonna read from the Rumi cards, and then we're done with this reading. Arise. Wings of hope languish from lack of use. When wings dissipate and weaken, life begins to lose its value. Every cell in your body is created to rise to challenges. Your life is meant to confront everything that holds you captive. Don't sit at the bottom of the well, not caring about salvation. Listen to the voice within calling to you. Reach for eminence beyond your own maturity. I dance before you in this sacred spectacle, hoping to garner your attention. Look at me, I cry to your ailing spirit and despondent flesh. Look at me. If you were to look up, you would see that I am a mirror of your own being, your light, your heart, your spirit, your all. Yes, there is pain. Yes, there is a letting go taking place, and you are frightened and uncertain sometimes. But you make this mean something that it does not. It means that you are to turn your head away from what is dying. Do this gently, but firmly. Turn your head towards what is living. Look at me. I will show you your truth, and you shall laugh your deepest belly laughter with so much glee, sharing my secret that the only force at work in your life is unconditionally loving divinity. I see in you a divine wild child and sacred heart. You have gumption, chutzpah, guts. You dare to love where others only see pain. Oh God, I'm gonna cry. You dare to believe that everything will somehow work out where others see only what they judge to be wrong. You see love where others ply fear. You seek freedom where the world still buys into manipulation and propaganda. Don't lose heart, beloved wild child. Dare to believe. You are right to do so. It is the divine rebel in you that refuses to surrender hope. Give up the fight, perhaps, the battle that comes from a place of fear, but to never give up your hope. That hope in your heart, that optimism and patience for growth in love creates a light within you that helps the world see through darkness. It becomes a candle that shimmers contentedly upon the windowsill of your heart temple. There it is, more obvious even in the darkness. The stars do appear to shine brighter at night, beloved, but don't become consumed by your nightmares. They will pass with the coming dawn, you'll see. Don't give them too much stock. Instead, put your attention towards that defiant candle of hope that burns, as is its nature and purpose within you. Can you sense its warmth, even in the presence of cold fear? Ah, it shall warm you now. And if not, then I come to remind you, you are a blazing angel. You are filled with holy fire, and you shall prevail. Oh, the joy of you, the expanse of you. You fill my own heart with your magnificent essence. I see and know the great beloved in you. There the great beloved is, looking out at me from behind your eyes. I see the candlelight of your heart temple flicker within your gaze. That is what the candle of hope honors. The workings of the great beloved, so creative and crazed with love for you that all circumstances of your life, down to the tiniest detail, are evoked out of love. Love, out of compassionate desire, takes you from despair into hope, from holding on to letting go, from turning away to opening up. So the great beloved takes you across the moonlit ocean into the temple of the cosmic heart. Here, an eternal flame burns bright with hope, igniting the light within the hearts of all of humanity. You are being asked to trust, to gently lay to rest the suffering that has been, perhaps because of what you have labeled as failure, the doubt, the losses and setbacks. They are so little in the greater scheme of you. Put them aside. Allow them to rot and become fertilizer for life, but do not try to keep them alive beyond their earthly expiry date, lest you become tainted or poisoned by the root. Let them go, and instead focus on what is alive now. Can you sense that before you is a great being of light, a greater pathway opening up? This is truth, blazing angel. This is truth. Take the step. So easy is it when the light of the heart is felt within, reminding you of your own divine nature. The world is here for you to experience, so that you may realize divinity in its majesty, mystery, and love, more so than ever. All serves that sacred purpose, so embrace it. Find your faith. Be at peace. Know that no matter what appears to be, all is well. You are so loved. It cannot even begin to be translated sufficiently into words, but it can be transmitted from my heart to yours, just as the sun catches dried tinder and sets it aflame. This oracle comes with a message for you. Arise. You have been downtrodden for long enough now. Perhaps you have been feeling defeated, put upon, underestimated, or walked over in mind, body, or spirit by others or your own doubts and fears. Enough now. You are liberated through the hope in your heart, the defiant optimism that bios your spirit and demands that you shall have your dawn. You shall rise like the sun and begin anew. Now, step up. It is your time. Wow, that was beautiful. I almost cried for a couple of times. From nothing to everything. Oh my friend, if you are longing to be written on, become a blank page. Have you been shedding your skins, your layers, your certainties? Gone are the fixed identities and definite opinions. Keep casting those shackles aside, even if you fear you are releasing too much, and then perhaps you shall cease to exist. You shall only cease to exist as you have known yourself to be thus far. Another emanation of you awaits, blazing angel, something more beautiful and true. Yet here you are at the pruning stage, like a gardener of the soul. Shall the garden spring back to life, or will the enthusiastic denuding process be rather too much and unintentionally kill off the garden altogether? Fear not. Your soul is made of hardy stuff. It can handle a lot of culling and will shine even brighter for it. There is a greater story to be impressed upon your essence than the one you are currently dreaming of. Though you are brilliant, no doubt about it, my angel of love, there is one who is even more so. The imagination of this great writer is beyond our comprehension. The stories that pour forth from that cosmic poet in every moment are so rich they inspired the creation of art and music. One such story is especially created for you. Yes, you, with a starring role and all the best supporting cast. You shall gasp in wonder, awe, glee, and delight when you hear it. It is a great romance, a great adventure, with an ending truly spectacular and divine. Do you wish to hear it? Become attentive now. Put your own tales aside, as dramatic as they may seem right now, and prepare to be entranced by the greater storyteller, the living poet of love, as you are entranced in a tale of your own unfolding divine destiny. There are moments on the path of love that seem to focus on letting go of identities, of knowledge and certainty, of opinion, and even attempts at control. We may feel as though we are being stripped back to our core, and even then, perhaps further still. We may wonder if we can bear it. What shall, if at all, remain intact through these rigors? We may feel challenged every time we attempt to become something great, as though we are blocked by circumstances beyond our control. Again and again, it is as though a greater hand smacks our wrist the moment we try to take hold of something firmly, someone, anything that brings us certainty or inner stability. Such are the rigors at an advanced stage on the path. We meet this challenge when our soul is ready for it. Why must it be thus? This is a sage question indeed. When we are asked to dispense with our story the interpretations we have given to our life experiences over the years, we may not hear the request at first. We may vaguely note it, but not recognize the great divine source asking this of us, and so we do not give such an inclination due accord. We may persist with spinning our own tales instead. Oh, our mind may fancy itself to be a great wrangler of the word, impressed with its own judgments and declarations. Yet in the light of comparison with the divine tale for our soul, all our fancies shall pass away, revealed as so very frail, like clouds, dissipating in the sky. Perhaps we are graced with the realization there is so much more, or perhaps we still don't get the hint and move into struggle as we try to enact what we think our story should be. We may hit obstacle after obstacle and create even more terror in our storytelling, that life is such pain and struggle, that success may not be for us, that we are forgotten and unheard. Yet we could equally choose to wonder if obstacle after obstacle, closed door after closed door is just a prompt to look for the open window to climb through. And if so, instead of seeking to oppose our small story upon the great truth, we can live the truth of our divine destiny. Then something magical happens. We participate through presence along with the unfolding story of our soul journey. We open up to whatever is asked of us, presented to us, happening through us as we choose each day to come alive as much as we can. Then, as if by magic, there is something else that occurs. That would be grace. Real, rich, dripping with goodness and sustenance grace. This is the sacred blessing that enables us to pay attention to opening doors rather than closing ones. The divine assistance that lets us know our life is proceeding according to a greater intelligence and plan. Once we stop thinking quite so much and live day to day, we will be blessed with the realization that our individual life story is so much more extraordinary and perfect than anything we could have summoned, even with our wildest imagination. This oracle comes with guidance for you. You are being asked to let go to receive, to become empty to be filled. This may mean letting go of attachment to a lover so you can receive genuine love. It may be of no longer holding on to a fantasy of your dream job, but of being guided into your most soulful and successful vocation. It may mean letting go of wishes for your body and health to be other than it is, so you can simply get on with living each day, taking steps into wellness without thinking beyond one day at a time. It is the divine paradox that when we are asked to surrender a story or fantasy, it is because reality is knocking at our door, more often than not, with the delivery of what we have been fantasizing about, but in the best way for us. The human experience of this paradox is that you may feel you are giving up hope, that your fantasy is dying. It may be very painful and bring you much grief, but all that is dying is your attachment and opinion about how it must be. This needs to happen so you can stop dreaming and start living it. This is what is happening for you now. Do not fear any part of your process. Embrace it without expectations, with trust in your heart that the divine is simply guiding you from fantasy into fulfillment. So yeah, that's your reading. I hope you liked it. If you did, like, share, subscribe to my channel, and yeah, see you in my next videos. Bye. Hey guys, so this is for those of you who chose pile number 2 with this rose quartz, which holds a vibration of unconditional love and very soft and kind and compassionate energies. So the name of your pile is Relationship Game Changer, Unity with Self, Other, and the Divine, and Family Unit. Okay. So as I was drawing these cards and these channeled messages, this pile is just like all over the place. There are so many different messages, and in the other two it's very clear, but in this one there is a lot going on, and And as I said, relationship game changer, it does have a lot to do with relationships, and relations, how we relate. And it really does come down to that. And what do I mean by that? So how do we relate to ourselves? How do we relate to others, to the things we love, to the things we want to do, to the physical world, to the spiritual world, to to everything that means anything to you, And when it comes to that, I feel like that is a huge lesson for you, how to relate in a very clear way, how to relate in a truthful and honest and open and transparent way, in an intimate sort of way. I feel like there is a lot of messages about how you relate to things, that is what you attract. How you relate to yourself, that is what you will inevitably attract in your physical world. And I feel like there is a lot of maybe past life karma or family karma that is in a way obscuring your view and that clear view so that you can relate, And that the only solution to that is, as I said, unity. And what does it even mean, Well, first of all, I feel like I'm going to start with family unit. So, we all know that our childhood plays a very significant role in our lives, that it is in a way the pillar of our lives. And that if we didn't have a family in which we felt safe, in which we felt safe to express not only who we are, but our love, in which we weren't accepted for who we are and for our truth. We had to, in a way, shape shift. And that has really caused our inner child to close up. And that has really brought us to feel emotions of shame, of guilt for who we are, for what is our nature, for how we experience the world. And when I say experience, that is the thing that I was saying, relating, to the world. And that is something that really blocks our sacral chakra, And then we have a trouble with creating, with being creative, with being flowy, with being sexual beings in our power. I see cats as very important messengers and spirit animals in your life. I don't know if that means anything to you, but there are a lot of images of cats here. So yeah, it's in a way destined for you to become very spiritually advanced, to become who you truly are, and that is in a way the soul mission of each and every human being, but it is very very much so for you, because you have been, I feel like, trampled on your path to who you truly are. And it is in a way the hardship of that has slapped you in the face, and awoke you, and so that you can realize, hey, that is not who I am, I feel like a very important thing for you is to heal your inner child, that relation to self. and because that is where it all started. Your inner child needs to be happy, needs to feel safe, to be who he or she is, so that you can have those open relationships, trusting, transparent relationships, and that you can actually unapologetically and not afraid show who you truly are to the world and to yourself as well. And it has a lot to do with your material world as well, you know, like your inner child is, and how you relate to him or her is in the end how you will, from what space you will manifest the jobs, the your passions, your creativity, because I feel that you are a very creative person, you know, that expression of your creativity, of who you are, of your love, of your light is your soul's mission. You know, and that sounds very easy when I say it like that, and it comes with obstacles, of course, but it comes with obstacles so that you can come closer to yourselves, and they're, in a way, gifts for your expansion, and it is on you how you perceive it and how you relate to the suffering, because, you know, suffering, you don't have to suffer. I'm not saying that, you know. But as I said, it all comes back to you and how you will deal with it, how you will relate to it. You know, I'm just repeating that word, but it falls perfectly in this, you know. Because I feel like it's really difficult for you to open up to people, to have those transparent relationships, to be transparent with your own self, you know, and and to be humble in those emotions that you feel and accepting, you know, because I feel like you have been taught that they are not there, that they are no good, you know, that that your emotions hold no value, that your creativity, that the things you love, your passions, yourself, that it doesn't hold any value, you know. And it is up to you to not believe that falsehood, but to align with who you truly are, because that is a beautiful, powerful soul, you know, in the middle of your reading, the Queen of Wands, who's so much in her power and authenticity and creative force that she is just spreading her wings and soaring. She can do anything she wants to do. She can manifest it all, you know, the loving relationships with family, with friends, with romantic partners, and on the other hand, manifest that dream job, that passion, you know. And it all comes from a space of love for self. And I feel like relationships with others, family, friends, and romantic relationships, I feel like romantic and family like the most, and maybe even work relationships, are your best teachers in this life. They are showing you so much of who you are, and you need to pay close attention, you know, what is triggering you, what is making you feel unsafe, you know. Don't blame it on that person who is only reflecting it back to you. Go inside, you know, everything that you pick up on in the outside world, always go back inside and check, like, what is this trying to tell me about myself, about the pain and the hurt, you know, so that in the end you can come a step closer to who you truly are, you know, because it is this beautiful, sensitive soul. It's not only this soul who is really empowered and can do anything, it's at the same time, which seems paradoxical, I'm not sure I said that good, but is this gentle, loving soul who wants to be loved and appreciated, but also wants to love and appreciate and has a lot to give, you know. And when we close up, we it's like our cup isn't as filled as it could be, you know, with the beautiful love. And then we have a lot less love to give to ourselves and to others. We try to get at it in very superficial ways, probably through sex, you know, and to get that fulfillment of connection through that. But that can really backfire, you know, and because we are not coming from a place of authenticity. And whenever we don't come from that place of authenticity, that is when stuff will backfire in your face, you know. I feel like there's so many parts of you that are in a way different from each other, and they need to learn to cooperate. When we reach that place, that is when we will find that true love, because we will be able to express our love. But when I say true love, I don't only mean in romantic relationships. I mean true love, higher love towards ourselves, you know. Being one step closer to that unconditionally loving space. And this message right here says, follow your heart and all will be easy. Follow your light and all will flow. Surrender to the path and all will reveal itself. Steady yet slow and all falls into place. And I feel like that is just perfectly aligning with this message and what I'm saying, because there is a lot for you to learn in this lifetime. A lot, you know. And you will be tested. But it's up to you how you will respond to it. Because you don't have to respond to it, you know. What is important is what you learn about it for yourself. And I feel like you're a very slow person, you know. It's like it's in your nature to be slow moving. It's in your nature to take your time, you know. And as it says, like, steady yet slow and all falls into place. It's all right to be slow, but don't take one step forward and 100 back. You know, that's what that steady part of that message means. You know, to have the patience, get the strength in that moving slow to stand our ground. You know? So relating, yeah, I've been saying a lot about that. Seeing the truth of situations, and it says clean mirror. It's like you are a mirror. It is your divine destiny to reflect to other people their own stuff, you know, and so that they can be closer to themselves. And it's like it's your destiny to come into unity with yourself, so that you can help others come into union with themselves as well, not through deliberate action like to help them, but through just being who you are, through embodying the truth of who you are, and like clean that mirror of your soul up. It says mastering oneself, mastering oneness. Yeah, that speaks for itself. Harmonizing. Yeah, that's what I said about those parts of you need to be harmonized. You can't accentuate one part or the other. You can't only focus on this or on that. It's like your focus is on so many things, which is why there is a need for that inner strength. That is why there is a need for that steady and slow movement. That is probably why you are such a slow mover, because there's just so much that you but are doing, you know, in your own life. Maybe not in the physical realm, but inside of yourself, you know. And I feel like you take on a lot of other people's shit when I have to say it, you know? Yeah, connecting from truest self. True desires. Yeah, it all comes back to that truth of who you truly are, you know? Especially when it comes to your desires. Pillars of healthy relating and relationships. Yeah, I feel like this is a really big one. How do relationships work? You know, what does it mean to have a healthy relationship with with family, with friends, with a lover? And how do we manage that? What is the healthy foundation of a relationship? And those are all the questions that you should be asking yourself on your path. But as I see here in this reading, it's like being transparent, being open, sharing of yourself to others. But you can't do that if you're not sharing yourself with yourself, you know? And it's like, I will return again to the message of the sacral chakra, you know? That is the place from which we create loving, unconditional bonds with others. That is the place from which our emotions flow. And when that is restricted, that stays inside of us and festers, you know? And it says here, shame, pride, hidden anger. And that all relates to the sacral chakra, you know? And it's okay to feel all of those things. I don't know if you've watched Avatar: The Last Airbender, but there's this quote from Uncle Iroh when he says, pride is not the antidote to shame. Pride is the source of shame. You know, when we feel like we have to protect ourselves, when we feel angry towards others for shaming us, and we feel like that is our power, but that's not our power. You know, the true antidote to pride and shame is humility, as I already said. But it all comes from being very honest with yourself about your emotions, you know, and being there for yourself and honoring them, even though they're negative or positive, doesn't even matter, you know. But let them flow, let yourself flow. It's all about that flow, you know. Don't keep it in. The more you keep it in, the more it festers inside of you, and the more it turns into poison for yourself, you know. It's about learning to express yourself. And as I'm saying this, my throat chakra is like dying. And it's about learning to express yourself, yeah, in each and every way possible. It's about expressing that creativity. It's about expressing that love. It's even about expressing those negative emotions and parts of us that are dark, you know. And that is how others see us, even in our darkness. And if we always keep a mask on, we can never have what we want. We can never see who we are. We can never see who other people are, and they can't see who we are. And we can never get to that dream job. We can never get to expressing ourselves creatively, you know, and getting material resources from that space. When we are blocking ourselves from doing that, from expressing ourselves, you know, by lying to ourselves and wearing those masks. Yeah, and it really comes down to understanding your own value, you know, your own, what do you bring to yourself? What do you bring to jobs, to relationships? It's very valuable, you know. And You are extremely valuable. What you have to give is amazing, and there will be people who will appreciate that because you will meet their needs with that. Maybe that hasn't been so in the past, but I feel like that will change, But you need to figure out, what is that value? What do I have to give? What is it that I want to give and to receive? And what are my needs? What are my needs for myself? What are my needs in a job relationship or a job situation? What are my needs when it comes to expressing myself and to relating to others? What do I need from other people? And those are the questions that really require some introspection, and they all come from that pure, humble, safe place inside of us, I feel like you are a magnet, everything that you feel that is inside of you, you will draw it in. And it's up to you to see, why are you drawing stuff in, And do you want to draw in those things, or do you want to draw in the things that are true to your soul? Because if you do, you have to embody that soul, that truth, powerfully, without fear, without caring what anyone thinks of it, And that does require strength, inner strength, not like fighting strength, but the strength that lies in the heart, the strength that lies in the love that we have for ourselves and that the divine has for ourselves. Yeah. Also, grounding is an important thing, and a root chakra, because I feel like there is a lot of fear. Fear that you will not be respected, accepted for who you truly are, because probably that's how it was in your family, What isn't true will bring you extreme misery and pain. Each time you don't follow your truest path, it will backfire. Only what is true can stand the test of time. It is about a balance of receiving as well as giving, not 50-50, but investing in what feels right, and then having trust and no doubt. It lies in the value, not what you like or don't like superficially. To truly be free, let go of attachments to outcome, expectations that let you down, and limit your soul's potential. The superficial can cloud your blue skies. Yeah, you really need to rise above it. Rise above the instant gratification and, just fulfilling something, some lustful desire that is temporary. It is about the deep stuff, the soul stuff, the heart and light and love stuff, When it comes to romance, it is related to what I was saying right now, And there is a divine partner for you, and you will have a beautiful family unit with this person. But first, your primary family unit needs to heal, and how you relate to that family unit, what that means to you, Because I feel like the mirror of you and your life can sometimes be distorted. So you really need to watch out for that, And have faith that, yeah, you were giving all of these things to work in with your life, but only because the divine thought that you could handle it. that you are the one who can do this. You are powerful. Your wings are so big and powerful. Yeah, so let's read the Rumi stories, and we're done with this reading. Sacred Convergence. Roaming about town, the master was holding a light, saying, "I am weary of the demons and the beasts. A human is what I am longing for. The human cannot be found. We have searched. What cannot be found is what I am longing for. Although poor and needy, I will not accept small pieces of ruby. The mine of the finest rubies is what I am longing for. One hand holding a cup of wine, and the other the curls of the beloved. A dance like this, in the middle of the circle, is what I am longing for. How I have longed for you, my very own. Look no further, for the family beyond your family, the relationship beyond all other relationships, the great love that unveils all other loves to be mere reflections of the one great and true love is here, for you, now. It is I who has sought you through the stirrings of your own heart. Yes, 'twas I, hidden beneath every secret, yearning for something more, something full, something special, something all-encompassing. Behind every yearning, always I have hidden. Now I show myself to you, that you may become so fulfilled with the same passionate devotion that I hold for you, that your mind will fall away, overwhelmed by the sheer intensity of love, tossed into an ocean of silent, unending bliss. Come to me. We are to be one now, in sacred convergence of silent, eternal passion. Sacred convergence indicates a coming together of souls in alignment with a greater cause. This greater cause is both personal and impersonal. There is an aspect of joining together for common purpose, although that purpose may not be immediately obvious at a level of day-to-day consciousness. That common soul purpose may be to lift each other into greater love and self-belief, to shed fear and open the heart, filling each individual soul with more holy fire for its personal, passionate purpose. You'll have a sense when this process is happening. There will be a coming together of you with like-minded souls who hail from all walks of life, and yet together, through some invisible genius, you will help each other. You may simply be dancing in the same room, or singing in a group, attending a class or workshop, or visiting the same beach or parkland. But at that moment, there will be a sense of something coherent and nourishing happening at a far greater level. The trickle-down effect into your personal life will be felt too. You'll have more energy after spending time with these people, even if you don't interact very much on a personal level beyond being in the same space. You'll feel empowered to step forward on your path and love yourself with less conditions. You'll become freer to shed your fears, let go of relationships based in fear and judgment, and open up to those more loving, responsive, and inspiring to continue on your personal journey in increasingly profound ways. This oracle has come to you because you are a part of a greater sacred convergence happening now. Perhaps you have already sensed its progression, or perhaps it will not be obvious to you, but the effect, whether obvious or subtle, will be important to your soul development and divine awakening. You are being asked to drop defenses and barriers towards groups of people that feel good for you. However, those that dampen your spirits or drag you down are to be dispensed with. no matter what games of blame or manipulation they may play to keep you coming back for more. No, that shall not do for your soul growth now. Just step away. Turn towards those connections that feel nourishing to your soul and learn to share yourself without fear. Just be. You do not have to force the planets to spin, nor the great cycles of the soul to happen. All that is required is that you show up for what is offered to you now. Do your part. Take your steps. Dance, sing, be, and allow the gifts of sacred connection to change your world. For this is the spiritual gift presented to you now. This oracle comes with a message. Perhaps you have been thinking about shedding lower vibrational connections based in the ego world of power games, sabotage, manipulation, and fear. Perhaps you have already begun this process, or even shed so many you are fearing you might have over-pruned to be left with nothing and no one. Do not fear, feisty angel of love. Your truth is prevailing. You cannot stay in a vibration of fear if you want to dwell in a vibration of love. Whilst you learn to sustain the vibration within you until it cannot be rattled by any crisis or demand, you are wise to place yourself in more nourishing connections. If you want a plant to grow, why not give it the best soil and conditions in which to do so? Certainly, the plant of love can grow in the most inhospitable conditions, but it can be rather more joyful to grow in gentler, more nourishing conditions if possible. This oracle comes to you with guidance that the possibility for more joyful relationships and growth of love within is in your power. You can choose each day, each moment. Just make a choice. Trust yourself, your discernment, and your intuition, and choose. You do not owe anyone anything. Repeat this law of karma. You only owe love the chance to grow. So let that be your guiding principle now as you release the old and trust that even if your garden of relationships becomes sparse for a while, you have been cutting back unhealthy plants to allow for new life to flourish. It is only a matter of timing for the season of new life and growth to come again, and so it shall, bringing with it sacred convergence of souls on the path of love, your soul tribe, your soul family, your new tribe of those journeying upon the path of love. Passion for purpose. Love, like life, flows through the heart. Feel the thrill of the flow and say nothing. Do you yearn to find your way, to fulfill your divine destiny, to know the purpose for your presence within this sacred body of the Earth Mother? Your heart is questing for deeper meaning. It desires certainty as to your sacred tasks for this lifetime. Your heart wants to know why you were born, for what purpose. You must know that the answer to those questions is love. I bring you your answer, straight from the heart of the universe. Be wild within your passion. Do that which stirs your soul, even if it makes you uncomfortable, especially then. For what is being truly alive, if not a decision to be open instead of resistant, to be wild rather than comfortable, so that at any moment we will be ready for the invitation of the Divine Beloved to come closer. I call to you now, the you that is beyond your mind, the you that the heart knows, the you that cannot deny life. To that you, I ask this question. What stirs the passions of your nature? Do that. Be that. As we grow on the spiritual path, so too does our ability to serve life, to serve love, to honor humanity, and to offer a contribution that is unique to us, that could only flow in this particular way through the quality of your own soul light. Every light holds its own beauty, and every light has a particular task to fulfill on the divine path of life. To help us remember this, lest we get too easily distracted by the pain and stress that happens in life, we were given an inbuilt reminder. That reminder is our passion. We may think that passion is not particularly practical. We may feel fearful that with passion there are no guarantees of success, or that we may even be throwing away a stable and secure life to pursue our passion. These are the fears of many a more modern society, yet they are so misplaced. Life supports all beings based on their true nature. The birds are given air in which to fly, and fish are given water in which to swim. Plants are given light of the open plains or darkness of the damp rainforest, depending on their needs for growth. Different flowers flourish in different environments. Bees have wings that are very small but powerful enough to move at such speed and rotation that their heavy bodies can fly. Each aspect of creation is given what it requires, so it may become what it is meant to be, for its unique destiny to be fulfilled. So it is with humanity. Each one of us has something in our hearts that means something to us. It is irrelevant whether it seems practical or a recipe for success or not. We are simply meant to be what we are, to serve life faithfully from a place of honoring the truth of our nature, that which we genuinely feel passionate about, and to allow for life to naturally support growth according to our genuine nature. Where we get into difficulty is not in bringing our genuine passions to life, for life supports this, but in learning to let go of attachment as to how that happens. We can struggle to free ourselves of the expectation we have to be something we are not. The divine path of love asks us to become conscious of and then unlearn the play acting of attempting to be a false self, so that we may learn to simply love and accept our real self. We may even have a struggle on our hands to remember who our real self actually is for a time. Fortunately, there is pleasure in the journey of returning to passion that can make the process of self-discovery a sweet one. But we must be brave, even in the sweetness of that journey back to the real self. We must dare to believe that we are not broken, that we are not inadequate or better off to be like some other person or some other person's view of how they think we should be. We must be brave enough not to believe in the layers of guilt and shame. We must be bold enough not to fear our passion. As we dive deep within and explore what really makes us tick, what makes us feel alive, we must be open, curious, and non-judgmental. That may be a subtle journey at first. We may feel as though we are looking in the dark, wondering if we will ever catch a glimpse of the light of passionate meaning we hope to find. That passionate purpose may at first be barely recognizable amongst all the should, cannot, and must do of our lives. As we stay true to the path, however, that light will become unmistakably clear. Our passion will reveal itself to us as essential as our breath. We would feel as though we were not alive without it. How could we have missed it all those years, perhaps all those lifetimes? It will seem so obvious then, burning so clear in our hearts that it cannot be more obvious, that we simply must live this desire, this passion, this purpose, or else spiritually perish into a shriveled up shell of a person, denying of life itself. No, that shall not be. Passion must and shall prevail. This oracle comes to you with guidance. You're being initiated more deeply into your life purpose. Your passion will reveal itself to you with more depth, nuance, and beauty than ever before. If parts of your life are dissembling or do not seem to be working out as you had planned, these are symptoms of this passionate revelation. Be curious and open to what presents itself in the wake of the falling away. Be ready for the journey within now. You are strong enough to leave behind the need for external validation while you learn to validate yourself. In time, soon enough in fact, you shall reveal your innermost beauty and be witnessed and received, acknowledged for your innate value, purpose, and divinity. But for now, sweet beloved, dive deep. Be defiant and determined to honor your heart so your deep passion may be witnessed by you and eventually, naturally, make its way into sacred expression in the world. If you have recently discovered a new talent or purpose or have been dreaming some big dreams, this oracle comes to you with guidance and confirmation. You're excited. Follow that excitement. Let it lead you into your own heart truth and onto an ever more passionate path of purposeful living. I will read this message again because I really feel drawn to. Follow your heart and all will be easy. Follow your light and all will flow. Surrender to the path and all will reveal itself. Steady yet slow, and all falls into place. That was such a beautiful message. I really enjoyed this reading and I hope that you did too. If you did, like, share, subscribe. It will really mean a lot to me. And I'll see you in some new readings. Bye. Hey guys, okay, so for those of you who chose the third pile, and this citrine, I think. This pile really is about your strength, your willpower, your confidence, that fire in your belly, you know. The name of this pile is Authenticity and Inner Spark. Okay. So you're probably a fire sign because this is a very fiery reading, you know. Not only the cards but the crystal as well and the messages. So I feel like this is a very karmic lifetime that you are in, where you are facing a lot of just heavy stuff, you know, and it's not your destiny to just feel the heavy stuff. I will get to the really, really good stuff too. But first I need to get to the bottom of why you are experiencing these negative emotions, thoughts, situations. Okay, so I feel like you are a person right now, or have been, or you know, which has a lot of problems with their mental state. Maybe depression, anxiety, maybe both, you know, some mental hardship. And I'm not judging here, you know. This is just what I see in the cards. And it's like you are in this prison of limiting and difficult beliefs about self, which are in the end illusions and false. It's like you are wearing this mask. It's like, in a way, you have to reach the bottom so that you can reach the highest of the peaks. And that is your destiny here in this life. You have to experience the darkness and hardship so that you can grow. As do we all, but this is very accentuated for you. And it does have a lot to do with your emotional state as well, because I feel like your mental state is draining you of that inner power, of that fire, of that willpower, of your self-confidence, but the true source of it. And I feel like this karma that you are resolving in this life, that is your destiny to resolve right now, it has a lot to do about your past lives, if you believe in that stuff, and also about your family life. You carry so many burdens regarding your family life, and those burdens are so, so, so heavy that they influence your mental state so much, that they bring you down, that they drain you of your energy completely until you are just like, just so stuck in life, And this is not how it's always going to be. Let me just say that. Because it is up to you to get out of this state. And it is possible, and it will happen, Maybe right now you are not in that place where you can see that light at the end of the tunnel, and it doesn't seem this way, but trust me, it is your destiny to overcome this. You have not been given these hardships just so you would fucking suffer, You were given these hardships so that you could overcome them, because that is your destiny and you have it in you. So it says, in your darkness and hardship lies the destruction, or the hope and the truest path you choose. Yeah, so as I said, it is a lot about perception when it comes to you, how you perceive all of this. Do you perceive it as just something that is in your way constantly, that you can't get out of, that you can't put down that heavy burden on your back? Or do you see it as a means to an end? I hope I said that right. Because it is your destiny to open up your mind, to change your perception, to see the bigger picture of your life. That you are not this small, human, worthless, being. That you will not carry this burden forever. That you are not, the scapegoat, that you are not insignificant and invaluable. Those are all lies. And it's alright if you believe them, believe it right now. But because of the moon, the moon always represents something that is hidden beneath the surface. So if you would view this as something that is deep inside of your subconscious, and that is triggering that mental state to be like in a really bad place. But if you go further along that path, and when you go deeper inside of yourself, that is where the light is. And that is your truth. I feel like the thing that will truly open you up to your soul, to yourself, and help you to remove these mental challenges and obstacles, to remove the burden of the past, and to open your mind up, and to free yourself of all of these things, to free yourself of this prison of the mind that you are in, and this wheel of karma that is just spinning and spinning and spinning, probably for generations in your family, who knows, is your spiritual path. And I feel like it is your soul's mission to step on that path. And that will be like your saving grace, literally. That will help you to release what you no longer need and to water those plants of your truest self. Because I feel like you are very divinely guided and divinely protected. There are so many spiritual beings, so to speak, that have your back. It probably doesn't seem that way if your life is really difficult right now, but think of the moments in your life where just by some miracle things for once aligned for you. That is that divine protection, that is that divine guidance, and you can have that every single day of your life and every single moment of your life if you choose to step on that spiritual path. And by stepping on that, you will clear that karma of your family, of your past lives, and you will become new. It's like we have this 10 of fire that you need to move on from, and this is the burden of the past and of the family that I was talking about, and that is not yours. And then we have the Ace of Fire, a brand new beginning. The tens are always a completion and ending. This karmic cycle ends with you. And I know that seems scary and hard, and why me, but because you were the only one who could do it. Because you were the only one who has that fire inside of them, that strength, that drive. Even though it may not seem that way right now, that is your truth. You are so fiery. You have so much strength inside of you. And then we have this new fiery beginning. It's like your life. The Ace of Fire is like your life changing like this in an instant, It's like the moment you step on that spiritual path, you meditate, you do energetic healings, whatever you want to do, you pray to God, to angels, whatever you believe in, doesn't matter. That is when this burden will just drop away from your back. And as I'm saying all of this, it's like really heavy on my back, I can really feel it. But I can also feel the energy of this brand new beginning, and it's so easy, it's so free-flowing and moving, And it really does come down to you loving yourself. I feel like people in your family didn't know how to love you. They didn't know how to love themselves. Their parents weren't loving to them, and so on and so on and so on, But you're different. You know that you have it in you, the love that is flowing out of you. So don't lose heart. Believe in yourself. Believe that you are freaking awesome, because you are. You are this amazing, creative, passionate person. Yeah, and it does come back to you being truly honest with yourself. Like, what is your truth? Like, standing bravely and strongly in your authenticity, and just clearing everything that does not belong to you, because it is just something that is holding you back. Okay, so I'm gonna read these little messages. Okay, so sacral chakra, sexual healing, shame and guilt. Alright, so I'll start with those. It's like your family was probably very controlling and manipulating towards you. And later on in life, you have probably drawn in relationships which were the same. And that has really blocked off your heart space, and that has really blocked off your sacral chakra, the place from which you flow, the place from which you create a loving and intimate and unconditionally supporting relationships. And you may also use sex as something to give you that instant gratification moment, but that is only closing your sacral chakra even more, and your heart space as well. And it's like that controlling and that manipulating of you and your emotions and your truth has brought you so much shame and so much guilt, which is blocking that flowy space, emotional space inside of you, because I feel like you are actually a very passionate and sensual person. You are very gentle, and it's easy for you to get hurt by others, but you are only adding to your pain and suffering, because you are abandoning yourself for others in order to feel loved and accepted. But I return to the message of the sacral chakra and the heart space, because if those two places and spaces inside of you are not free-flowing and are not filled with love and light, and are blocked by trauma and fear, we search for love and acceptance in the wrong places and with the wrong means. And I feel this lizard spirit is really saying that you are adapting, to your environment, when you should be shining that light of yours, and being that leader. You should be standing out in the crowd instead of dimming your light and just following the masses and not wanting to be seen or heard because you're so ashamed, of who you truly are. And who you truly are is this beautiful, holy, divine soul full of passion and fire and light, And with that fire, you can accomplish so many beautiful things. You can inspire yourself and others. You can create things that awaken other people's truth, Because you have lived your life through this distorted lens for too long, you know? And it is really time for you to step up and be authentic and be really brutally honest with yourself and disregarding everything and everyone who is just keeping you down and adding to that burden, because this burden is heavy, you know? You really need to put it down. And if it's too much, you should ask for help from other people, from therapists, from friends, from partners, romantic partners, from spiritual teachers, you know? And this is too much stress for your body to handle. This has probably created some health issues as well, if not mentally and emotionally, then physically. I will read this message for you. Self-love over pleasing others. Facing the truth open-heartedly instead of being avoidant and running from it. Fear is an eye-closing syndrome, but an open heart will not lead astray. Drop the mirages and truly look in the mirror. Who is the person, or better yet, soul, staring back? In the midst of chaos, we find ourselves grasping for every little thing to bring us salvation. Yet true salvation lies in the arms of the beloved divine. Searching the outside, you only distance yourself. Its essence emanates from the heart. Yeah, self-love is a really big message here. I feel like you are a very loving person. You have so much love to give to others, so much love and compassion and understanding, and that really is beautiful, and that is your destiny. But first, you need to give that to yourself. So I will read this message from the Rumi Oracle, and that's it for today. Okay, so you have received the card that is called Cosmic Heart. I was dead, I became alive. I was tears, I became laughter. The power of love arrived and made me everlasting power. I have seen everything. I have no fear. I have the heart of a lion. I shine like Venus. I hear it and weep. In sublime reverence, I bow to this living, beating, loving heart of the universe. It echoes throughout all creation. Once, some time ago, I was deaf. I had not heard one true sound, much noise, but no truth. So I believed in many things not worth believing in. Then, in a moment of my crisis that cracked my heart open, I was given a gift. Though I felt fear and confusion, a gift came to me, more powerful than those temporary ailments. The gift was the ability to hear the sound hidden beneath all of life. I heard it, that sacred sound of the beating heart of universal love. Now I know that belief in unworthy things like fear and doubt is lunacy. Even my loneliness became unconvincing to me. We are animated by this living heartbeat, part of life that is sustained by it. You and I, the planets, the birds, and the fishes emerge from the great source because of this beating heart of the universe. It pumps life through our veins. What proof of this is needed? You live. That is the proof. I hear it everywhere now. It has become so loud. louder than any word of fear. It resonates through my soul and eclipses any tremor of anxiety. There is a time on the journey of love when the beloved, that will be you and me, sweet soul, is prepared to engage more completely with the heart of the divine lover. The preparation will be a rich process, spiritually speaking. It may also feel like being beaten, pummeled, simmered, and stirred in the pot of the divine master chef to become a sacred and a savory meal fit for the most heavenly of feasts. This is a courageous and bold process, one that will create the most delicious aromas in the soul. And yet, it is one that will likely take us right to the places we would rather avoid, places of confrontation with pain, but where the loss of its grip on our being no longer lets us quake and retreat from life in fear or uncertainty. You have been through these tantalizing trials, the push to surrender fear, the realization your attempts at control amount to not so much actually, so why not abandon them altogether? The trials have asked you to confront every part of your being that holds itself back in resistance to what is, in resistance to what life presents at this very moment. You have been asked to become comfortable with the possible discomfort of not knowing, and to understand you don't have to understand anything for life to work out with perfect synchronicity and generous grace. You have been asked to bear darkness without losing hope for the return of the light. You have been asked to trust in your own heart wisdom when your mind was terrorized by nightmares and hallucinations of fear. They were so powerful, you were certain they must be real, that you must be crazy not to run and hide somehow, somewhere. And yet here you are, still loving, still wise, and ready for a love bigger than you have ever experienced before. So we step together, you and I link my arm through yours, and I urge you on. Let us run together and jump over the edge. No more half-living in any way for you and me. We will weep crystal clear tears, and we will laugh with such joy that stars will burst forth, borne upon our exhalations. We will hear the beating of the cosmic heart pounding in our ears, and how we shall dance to it. That sacred, intoxicating rhythm moves hips and hands and hearts, raising the soul from slumber. But that heart does beat so loud. It can be startling to the parts of you unused to such wild, unconditional affection and rowdy playfulness. You may worry that this great love is not going to be careful enough with you. What if you get tossed around in the great oceans of love? You will surely be disoriented and become lost to the world you once knew. How then will you know where to go? Fear not, my soulmate. Love has its own wisdom and its way. We shall become lost in its genius together. Whilst our minds are tipped this way and that, tumbled in love's great waves, we shall be forced to surrender our useless intelligence and become mindless. Then, how easy it shall become for the perfection of love to guide us, for there shall be nothing within to question and resist. We will no longer have to find the way, for we will have become the way. This oracle comes with special guidance for you. More love is rushing towards you like a great cosmic tsunami. You will struggle with this blessing to the extent that you will attempt to hold on to what has been. So don't. Let go. Let it move you. You'll perhaps get some water up your nose, but nothing will come to you that you cannot handle. You'll be disheveled somewhat, undoubtedly, yet as you are washed upon love's shining shore, keeping every hair in place will be the last thing on your mind. You'll be too caught up in the wonder of perfection, realizing how deeply loved you are and how unnecessary it is to contrive a way to live your purpose. Instead, you'll have no idea what is going on. You'll be surrendered in passionate embrace, with love simply being your exquisite, crazy, unique self, saturated with divine love. It will drip from you, out of your feet, your eyes, your voice, your touch. You'll water the earth with love's oceanic presence. Oh, how that tsunami will deliver you into your divine destiny. No need for any contrivance. Let your hair get messed up. Your destiny awaits you now. So, you are truly this beautiful, passionate, brave soul, And once you embrace that darkness and bring it to light and embrace your spiritual path and your journey, you will become an inspiration to others that it can be done. The hardship that you are going through or have gone through was not for nothing. You will, I feel, teach others what self-love truly is and what authenticity truly is and how they can do the same that you did. So I feel like in that sense you will be this beautiful leader, awakening people, maybe just by your mere presence, maybe by your words. Who knows how this will manifest, but just believe in yourself and believe that your destiny is truly beautiful and you were the only one who could fulfill it. So fulfill it, Yeah, so that's all I have for you today. I hope that you liked it, and if you did, comment and share and subscribe and like. I would love to hear your messages. So yeah, I will see you in my next video. Bye!